Hi everyone, Casperation here, and welcome to my energy channel, talking about peace, love, harmony, and how to increase your vibration and your frequency just so that you can accomplish anything you want in life, and it starts from certain levels. So I will start today and this episode of sort of giving more of description or sharing with you guys and girls out there, fellow souls, just explaining a little bit more about the dark side that I was sharing with you all in the other episode. Few years ago, let's not start there. Well, let's start when I was a kid. I was born into like this personality where I've always had a strong personality. And whenever someone got bullied, or let's say my brother got bullied, like I would always be there to stand up for him, and I wouldn't let anyone, push me down, pull me down. But I think that's one of my soul lessons, is that I come across a lot of bullies. And it came to a point where I was older. I'm old enough to stand up for myself, and I always believed that, especially as a girl and as a woman, that it was so much more important for me to stand up for myself, because I represented, and I totally believe that, all the other women out there. And even if I had teammates that were being bullied by guys, I would stand up for them, because I noticed that they wouldn't stand up for themselves if a guy pinagalitan siya, or scolded her on the field or something. I would stand up for them, because I didn't like that. I didn't like that because they were a girl. They were being treated that way. So I came to a point where I'm like, yeah, no one could cross me, and they knew that they couldn't, because of the fact that I would snap at them and put them in their place and stand up for them. So it came to a point where I felt that, and I knew I had that power, that I started having this thinking: if any guy ever crossed me, and he had the audacity to do so, and they knew me, it meant that if they could do that to me, that means they totally disrespected any woman. So I took that to heart, because for me, I was like strong, and I would stand up for myself, and they would still cross me, meant that they disrespected every woman. So I just put that entire responsibility on my shoulders, and I felt like I would be Wonder Woman trying to liberate women. And it's a perfect time of the month to explain this, or time of the year to explain this, because it is March and it is Women's Month. And I felt like I had to be that superhero of just being a hero for women, and just trying to save women by defending girls, but I'm only just one woman. So it was kind of difficult. It was heavy. And it came to a point where they did cross me, and I just started going at them. And I kept all that pain in for how many years? An example is even in Frisbee. I had an altercation with a person that was our captain at the time, the guy, and I was the women's captain, and we were just shouting at each other in the field and everything. But and I took it to heart. I was like, this guy, sobrang bastos nito. He did this to me. That means he does this to every single woman out there. He doesn't respect them whatsoever. So and I brought that for how many years, and so much so that I was ego was starting to talk, and I was like, oh, you know what, I don't need Frisbee right now. If he wants to play, I don't need this. Like, I play on the national rugby team. I play full contact sports. You know, what is this? What's Frisbee after all? Like, you can have it. I got better stuff to do. And all the while, I was even doing MMA classes just because I wanted to do the guy thing. You know, hamunin mo siya. Hamunin mo siya. Tara, magsuntukan na lang tayo para tapos na. So I started taking MMA classes, just embodying and adding more of this pain and this angst and this anger into myself. That's what I was filling my cup with. And it just became so much that I started embodying it. I started thinking every day and night about my enemy. Before going to bed, I would plot in my head, you know, how I would react the next time like he did something like that to me, or how I would actually confront him with it. For something as simple as, you know, we just were like, had a conflict on the field. I couldn't take it. My ego couldn't take it. So I just started preparing. And I was conditioning my mind to go up to him and say, like, you know what? Let's take it out on the octagon. And I don't care if you're a guy and I'm a girl and I'm like not even the same weight level as you. Let's slug it out. Para tapos na. Can you imagine? Like, and for me, in my head, at that time in my life, totally different person then, I was thinking, I don't care if I die. Just as long as I fight this guy and teach him a lesson. For me, I felt like I had to teach him a lesson. I had to be that woman that taught him a lesson, that we need to be respected. And I didn't care if I died. I felt like I'd be a martyr, and I felt like I'd be a hero, and that if I died in vain, it would be going to a purpose of defending and representing women all over the world, which I realize now it's a totally wrong thing to do. But at the time, that was my entire being. So because I was putting all this pain and just charging it up more with like anger, and because I was thinking about my enemy so much and how much like of a rude person he was and how much of an asshole he was, I started becoming him. I started becoming the person I hated the most. And it just started overflowing into other aspects of my life, other relationships. And, you know, my family, my friends, my relationship with my partner at the time, like snapping at these people that had nothing to do with that compartment of my life that was just overflowing with this seed inside of me that just, it started consuming me, and it ate my entire being of just this low level negative energy. Hate is the lowest level, and I experienced it. I found out, and I embodied it, and I've been there. That's what I want to share with you guys. What I actually was, what I became. I became the person I hated the most, and that's where you have to be really, really careful, is that where you put your attention on, what you put your attention on, what you become, it just is your whole being. That's what you start embodying, and you have to be really careful. And that's just what I want to share today. A little bit of how my dark side came about and why I don't want to be that person anymore. because I know that it's not the right way, that there's something better, is that to end the cycle. Because I was that person who was full of angst, anger, hate of my enemy. I became someone who was spreading hate, angst, anger, and enemies. I mean, like, angst, anger, you know, negative, low-level energies, like guilt and everything. So I started becoming that person, snapping back at other people, kind of bullying other people by shouting at my teammates, shouting at my mom and my dad, and snapping back at him whenever he would say something to me, you know. And then I started attracting more enemies because I feel like I needed to defend myself even more. So because I felt like I was a very defensive person, you know, by nature, even by sports, then that meant that the law of attraction and the universe was like, okay, I will send you more enemies. And then more enemies came. So, and it just becomes this entire rock bottom moment that I was sharing with you guys later, in the other previous videos. It just came to a point where it was too much. And I knew at the end of it that I had attracted it. I looked back that it was wrong, and then I needed to reprogram myself. And I did. And that past year and the past few years came to the realization of what this is now, and sharing with you guys me being on the other side of peace, love, and harmony, and that higher scale in the levels of energy. So yeah, hopefully you learned something today, and I do hope you like my other accounts, social media, follow me there. It's in the description below. And if you learned something from this video today and want to learn more, subscribe to the channel, and I will be spreading more peace, love, and harmony to everyone out there. And we are a student teacher in this journey that we have together of our life here on Earth. So do leave comments below if there's something you want to know, some questions. I will try to answer it through these videos. And yes, I'll end that with that. So namaskar, everyone. Peace, love, harmony, spreading out to the world. See you guys.